So I guess, always during this time of year, I think just like the goal is to slow the fuck down if possible. Because I think it can be very easy to get swept up in a lot of movement, a lot of preparation for the cold season, a lot of feeling like we need to like soak in all the remaining sunlight that we possibly can. And yeah. So we'll take time to just settle to the ground. We're going to take our bolster, if it feels okay, underneath your belly, and we're going to lie down on our bellies. Yeah. A little vata balancing work today, in addition to our Qigong. All right. So yeah, that bolster can be horizontal, it can be lengthwise. We want to think about kind of perching ourselves so that, that hip point is touching the top of the bolster and like the tops of your thighs are on the bolster. And maybe your belly, your low belly is touching down, but yeah, the upper part of your belly is free. And your pelvis is elevated, and you might have your head turned to one side or the other. And we'll just set up here and feel the ground underneath us for a little while without the need to really do very much. Noticing and feeling your breath. And just noticing and feeling the contents of your mind this morning. And then let's sort of step away from the contents of our mind for a little bit if we can. And just feel our low belly on the bolster again. Maybe feel the musculature around your hip sockets and your sitting bones getting a little bit softer. And maybe you even decide to gently like wobble your pelvis a little bit, side to side on top of that bolster. We'll be here for like 5 more breaths. Just feel that breath come and go. Nice. So from here, let's bring our hands down to the ground just under our shoulders. Palms are pressing down. We're going to lift up. Ah. And I think we're going to just kind of walk those knees forward a little bit. And let's come into this kind of wide knee child's pose. I'm going to be up on my elbows. That feels real nice to me. Maybe you want to set your chest down on the bolster. Yeah. We just want to sink in here for a little while. And so sometimes when we're kind of busy brained and up in our heads and all of that, the best thing we can do for ourselves is offer a practice that gently stimulates and activates our root chakra. So from our pelvis on down to the feet. I think we're going to be focusing quite a bit on that today. But also, yeah, we'll just take some very slow movements when we eventually do stand up. To try to bring ourselves into the present moment. Now take notice again of the space around your sitting bones. The inside line of the thighs. The outside line of the thighs. To your knees all the way around. Notice and feel your shins and your calves. And ankles and tops of your feet. And your heel and your arch, your toes. Take another 7 or 8 breaths here. We'll bring our hands down to the ground when you feel good and ready. Very slowly start to press yourself up to seated kind of shape. And we're going to take that left leg out wide and long and just kind of fold that right heel up into the pelvic floor area. Right. A zillion ways to hang out here. You can sit up tall. You could bolster headbutt just like this. Yeah. You might have that bolster out in front of you and just like lean in. Good. Really using that support so that you don't like dive in too far too fast, right? We're gonna take it easy this check in with your toes. And if it feels like they are doing that like toe lock, that like stretching of the toes, pada bandha, go ahead and just relax your toes. Relax around your jaw. Give your eyebrows a little baby shake. And just feel your breath here. Here for another 7 or 8 breaths. Just notice if there's any part of you that could loosen just a tiny touch more. The fingers, the eyes, around your nose, maybe. Few more breaths. Okay, and then let's set ourselves up. And I'm thinking that before we head to the other side, we're actually gonna lay down and lay back for a moment. Nice to have, I mean, you can just lay on the ground if you don't want to use props, but I'm thinking of a little like heart bridge. So a bolster like this and a block like this. Block usually on the tall setting for most comfortable outcome. Oh, and then we're just gonna lay down and see what happens. See if we need to scoot a little bit. Ah, my back is cracked. Maybe you want to stretch your arms out, or you could keep your hands on your body, elbows on the bolster. A little bit longer. Well, maybe like 2 minutes. Feel the ground. Notice and feel your breath. See if you can feel your ribs expanding upward, outward, to the back, to the sides. As you breathe in, and then as you breathe out, just feel your whole body a little softer. Inhaling for spaciousness and exhaling for softness. Couple more breaths here. Maybe you want to stretch your arms out past your head. A little gentle wake up kind of stretch. And then when you feel good and ready, we're going to start to lift ourselves off of the props, back up into a seated position. We'll eventually take that right leg out nicely. I felt myself teetering on the edge of like while I was lying down, so we might not revisit that until the end now. Back up, yeah, that's all right. All right, so again, maybe we're leaning in a little bit, leaning forward. Maybe we're, like face palming with the bolster. You can sit up straight with your back against a wall if this is feeling really stressful for your pelvis. Yeah. Good, and wiggle those toes, wiggle your fingers, shake out your eyebrows. Settle here and do very little if possible. Back of your ribs. Way that I access sensation in this part of my body is to just take a breath that feels slightly deeper than my average breath. And feeling the upper back kind of puff out a little bit if possible. Middle part of your back receiving some breath movement. Few breaths more here. So let's start to slowly lift ourselves on up and out of this. That nice little like transitional kind of shape might be to stretch out your legs, both of them sort of long and wide here. And then to take your hands back behind you and just like back. Maybe that's not fun for your body and you don't want to be here at all. Right, just knowing that anything that feels right in your body is fine by me. Just taking a moment to come out of that asymmetrical shape and into something a little bit more, yeah, side to side symmetry. The head might drop back. And we'll just spend another breath or two here. If you are leaning back, let's come to sit up. And fold our legs back in front of us and transition to sitting back on your heels, if that's all right with your knees. This is not his favorite thing. You can always sit on the bolster, lie down and pull your knees into your chest, take the pressure off. Just a little bit of time here in Vajrasana, the lightning bolt pose. Notice what parts of the tops of your feet touch down, what parts pop up. Feel your shins, where they're touching down, if they're touching down. And same thing for your knees. Good. And I'm thinking for a few breaths, why don't we take our hands and just kind of slide them around our knees? Like this. So joints are very important in Chinese medicine. They're very important in acupuncture. You find yourself at an acupuncture appointment, more often than not, you're going to find needles in your knees, your ankles, your elbows, your wrists. They're powerful places where energy can move. And there's also great potential for like actual physical restriction of the energy channels, right? Through fascial tightening or yeah, just general, I don't know, muscular strength, tight tendons, etc. Right, so we just want to spend a little time caring for our knees. A few more breaths of this circular type of massage. Yeah. Eventually, we are going to just change up our leg position and come into a toe squat. So maybe that bolster comes under the knees, maybe about a couple of blocks under your knees. Maybe you prefer to just hover without the props. It's another way to do it. Yeah. And hands could be on the ground. Let's see if we can get that pinky toe on the ground. It always tries to like I don't know, slide out. Okay, and there are your feet. How do they feel right now? Might be a nice opportunity to take a couple of audible exhales or lion's breaths. Really anything that makes sense to you. Nice big breath out. Okay. And then it's time to put our heels on the ground and send our hips up. And just straighten out your legs a little bit. All right, your knees can be softly bent for sure, but we're gonna spend a good 3 minutes in a standing forward fold or a halfway lift kind of thing. This is up to you and your body. Right, knowing that when we're in this forward fold, we all have different hips, low backs, and hamstrings. Right, sometimes it's very comfortable to fold forward, and other times it is wildly uncomfortable. So we want to accommodate ourselves, right? Thinking about swaying a little bit or finding that lift and lower if you do feel a little less than comfortable here. Just to help kind of ease you into the shape. Find a place to stay, go ahead and stay. Think that this transition up to standing will be in the way that feels best to you and as slowly or as quickly as you would like. I'm a big fan of moving slowly. But maybe, yeah, take your time. This might be your little interpretive dance. All the way up. All right, and we made it up, which is so nice. All right, just gonna adjust the camera, make sure I think that to begin with, we are just gonna swing. We're gonna do bear moves today. Yeah. And a lot of the bear movement is, or I shouldn't say a lot of it, but at least a little bit of it is kind of based on this swinging sort of movement. Ah. And our feet are hip socket distance or a little bit wider. Our knees get to be kind of soft and springy. And also take notice of your pelvis. If you're gripping your butt really hard, let's try to soften that a tiny little bit. Ah, and then the arms fly as the shoulders relax. And I'm a big fan of like clapping the body with my hands because it's a way to invigorate a little bit. All right, so we're gonna take this movement and we're gonna make it to about, I'm gonna say 10% what that just was. So we're still sort of rotating a little bit from side to side. We have our thumbs tucked into the rest of our fingers and kind of like a loose fist, making our little bear paws. And this is still kind of like driving itself. So imagine that you're like, well, I mean, it's not even an imaginary thing. You are a big piece of jello. And so we're just kind of jelloing this way and jelloing that way, like we've been poked, you know? Good. And so the purpose of this movement, constant bear or stationary bear, is to get us used to the feeling of our muscles just sort of rotating around our bones in a really subtle way. So another handful of breaths here, simply gently moving. To the center, maybe steadiness feels funny now. Okay, we're going to keep our bear paws just as they are. We're going to take our hands in front of us, kind of like this. Then we're going to inhale and open them out to the sides like this, while we step onto the right foot and pull up that left foot. So now we're gathering our hands. We're stepping forward with that left foot, and we're just letting our arms swing effortlessly. Right, and they wobble for a little bit if we just let them go. Once we feel them start to slow down, let's inhale, gather, chicken step, right foot to the left ankle. Exhale, step forward, let those arms swing. And so the underlying energy of the bear is this kind of heavy shaking energy, this like grounding kind of energy. Let's take our arms, gather again, step the left foot into right ankle, and then step forward with the left, let those arms walk. We're just going to kind of keep this up at our own pace. Once you feel that wobble begin to slow down, we gather, we chicken step, we step forward, and we let the arms swing. Yeah. We want to keep our upper body more or less upright here to avoid feeling barfy. So, it's always funny. I always want to like look at my arms when they're swinging too, but maybe we look forward and we just feel the arms swinging. So bear walking. Step. really matter where in the room you end up because we're going to keep walking just in a slightly different way. But how do we feel about the leg portion? Are we okay with that? We got that figured out? Chicken step and the step forward. Okay, good. So we're gonna get started again with the walk. All right, we're gonna gather. We're gonna step onto that right foot, chicken step left. We're gonna come forward with the left foot, but we're actually gonna like swing twist the upper body. Yeah, towards that forward left leg or whichever leg is forward. Good, then we're gonna gather, we're gonna step, we're gonna twist towards that forward leg. Similar but different. Good, once the wobble starts to slow down, we're gonna keep it rolling. And just see what happens. I feel like I have a lot of bounce and shake in me today. Oh. Yeah, and so it's called bear play, which I think is really kind of queer and kind of great. Yeah, but anywho, I don't know, it can be really subtle, but I think it has the powerful effect to help us slow down and feel a little bit more grounded if we are feeling a little bit busy. Oh yeah, you still have your fists going here. Still got your bear paws. Maybe just one more step like this. Okay. Then we're going to come on back and we're actually going to open up our paws now into downward facing palm, downward paws. Very similar thing. We're going to gather with our open hands. We're going to chicken step. We're going to step forward. We're going to twist with open hands now. Good. Once we feel that wobble start to dissipate, then we just kind of set ourselves up on the other side. Little twisties. Okay, keep it going just a few more steps. Ah. Ah. And we're gonna come on back to a G. Now we're gonna make a regular fist with our thumbs outside of our fingers. Okay, so this one is kind of nice. We're always doing this gathering. The bear is all about gathering. Think of the fat thing. Gathering all the treats. We're gonna lean forward. We're gonna step forward with the right and lean that right shoulder forward. Right, and then let's gather with those fists again. Step forward, left, lean that left shoulder forward while you wobble. Yeah. All right, you know what to do. Gather, 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 step. Lean the shoulder in. Bears have heavy, heavy shoulders. Yeah, crown of the head stays lifting as we bear walk around. Eyes stay forward. It's kind of funny trying to embody the energy of another animal, but we kind of do it all the time. Like I'm always talking about my squirrel brain. That just naturally happens, right? So whether we want to, be into it or not, we are embodying different animal energies. any given time of the day. All right. Maybe one more step, gathering, stepping forward with that shoulder. The back foot stays well grounded. Good. All right, and then we will find our G and final bear move. We got one more. I forget what this one is called. But anyway, it's cool. It's where the bear does this. So we're going to have our little fists, right? These are our fighty bear paws. We're gonna gather. We're gonna step forward with that left foot. We're gonna bring that right palm so the knuckles are facing up and that left forearm kind of across the face. All right. And then we're gonna step forward and gather. And take it on the other side, right forearm horizontal. Good. Go ahead, gather. Good. And go ahead and gather. Step. I'm just taking this at your own pace. Maybe just like two more on each side. And then let's step on out of this. We'll find Wuji. And let's just take our arms and bring them on up. Big stretch. And then we'll draw the hands on down. Good. Inhale up. Exhale down. Last one. Take a moment to bring ourselves back down to the ground. And I'm thinking of some squat action. So feet about hip socket distance or a little broader apart, knees out wide. I got blocks for my hands because I like that. Maybe you want to sit on blocks. Also a good thought. And let's just feel that space all around the pelvis. Great. Bottom of the pelvis. Belly. The sacrum. Feel your hip sockets. Three more breaths here. We're going to come on out of this squat and we are going to come to lie down on our backs, actually. Thinking of a nice restful end to class. It's funny because I feel like we were doing bear play for like 2 minutes. It was actually like 20 minutes of bearing around. I think maybe a little bit of a restorative bridge is going to be our friend today. So if you have a bolster and want to use that, by all means, go for it. Or you could stack some blocks under the back of your pelvis. Good, but let's just allow the body to kind of arrange itself as we settle ourselves onto the prop. Maybe you keep those knees bent, maybe you stretch your legs out. Maybe the arms are extended past the head, or maybe they're close to your body. Wherever you end up, just find your breath. A big Aries full moon, a very fiery full moon. And, partially for that reason, that's why we focused on bear works today. Bear play. Because bears are about grounding, they are about water, they are about cooling. Sort of, even though they're fierce, kind of this chill energy. So maybe we just feel our bodies nice and heavy, almost like a bear. Oh, yeah. Lines up the invisible wall if you want to stay right where you are. Maybe you want legs up an actual wall or chair or a couch if you're at home. Take a look at our toes. Feel them soften. Notice and feel your ankles and let them soften. Feel your calves, feel your shins, thighs. The whole weight of your leg nice and heavy down into the hip socket. Five-ish breath. Ankles around yet today. Now might be a really nice time for that. figure four from here might also be lovely. So we're gonna take that right ankle and cross it on top of your left knee. And then just gently weight that left down into your right lower leg. Maybe you're still up on that bolster. One of those legs if you are figure fouring, and we will just head to the other side. Same thing. Maybe you make a little helicopter with your legs. Where you start to drop in on those. Ah. Here, let's bring both of our feet back down to the ground. Knees are bent. We'll bring our hands onto our low belly. Just give it a little gentle wobble or wiggle or pat. Ah. Taking some ripples in your reservoir of energy here. Ah. You've got stuff to do, you might tap yourself pretty bigger. If you're looking to chill, you might move slow. You'll just continue doing this as long as you want to, but eventually the truth is that we have to sit up. Oh. Get there in our own way. Take 5 breaths together, bringing our hands out in front of us. Right, hands touching each other. We're going to inhale and draw the fingertips back towards the heart and exhale them away. Good, inhale towards and exhale away. 3 more at your own pace. Into Pushpa Puta Mudra, which is just simply, unfolding them like a book, palms up, handful of flowers mudra, offering what's within yourself, all the beauty that you have to offer, and sending it out there. Deep breath in. Exhale like you're blowing out the petals. An American Beauty moment. One more big inhale. And then we'll exhale and bring our hands to our heart and drop our head down. Honoring our practice, honoring each other too. Thanks, guys.